Hello, this is Lucy Fox from Lucy Fox Arts. Welcome to the Fox Den. Today, I know it's mid-December already, but today I have updates from what I've colored in November. Also, very few coloring plans for December, which, well, right now they're more like whips. Also, a bit of a life update, so let's get to it. Okay, this is the last video I put on the channel. It was a color along for this page. It was this really long whip, like 4 or 5 years or something. I finished these. Over there I explained better what I used, but mostly it was polychromos on the background, on the sky, and on these waves. Also, I used, I think it was vinylic paint. Yes, it was by Lefranc and Bourgeois. I used white paint to erase some of the lines on stars, also on the lamp. Sorry. I used some Language gel pens for the effects on the fur, also where the light is, white and yellow of different shades. This is pretty much the summary of what I did for this whip. Previously, these little flags, the sky and the waves were already done. Also some shading on these borders, because initially I painted these black. But then I changed the whole lighting because I was thinking about the stars, and these parts no longer became my shadow, became my highlights, so I had to change that all up. Luckily it was polychromal, so it's somewhat easy to erase. This is the first for the month of November. Okay, a while ago, I think it was still October or early November, and it was Jo from Piggy Pen's Tube, I think, and she was coloring Matchstick Mouse with alcohol markers. It was either a live stream, I believe it was a live stream, or maybe a color along, I'm not sure. But I don't have any Matchstick Mouse books, but I have these two. This is a Coloring Heaven Pocket Edition. This is the Mouse Adventures, which are designs from Matchstick Mouse by Morgan O'Brien. This is Sleeping Animals by R.J. Hampson. And Jo, was coloring Super Bad Gorilla. Turns out I wanted to follow along, but I didn't have it. The books she has, But I found these. Turns out I had that same image on this magazine. So I colored. I'm not really used to using alcohol markers. I probably mentioned that in my Ohuhu video. But I wanted to try. And it worked out okay. I used Ohuhu's own silicone protective mat. And it worked to protect it. These were done with, I think, Ohuhu Grayscale and the midtones, because when I did it, I only had these two sets, which is not much different. Now I have the pastel set, and that's it. Oh, I have the skin tone set as well. But I had purchased the 320, but unfortunately it came wrong. So I had to get a complaint, open a dispute, and they are yet to send me the new one, so I don't know how that's gonna go. But okay, that's it for Mouse Adventures, and this is Sleeping Animals with illustrations by R.J. Hampson, also Coloring Heaven Pocket. It is issue number 5, I think. Yes. issue 5, Sleeping Animals. This was me also playing with alcohol markers. But this one was done in October. It was late October. It's not this one. Yes, this one. I prepped this page with Watercolor Ground by Daniel Smith. And then I used water-based markers with a brush tip. Mine are by Ohuhu as well. It's a very old set. So I did them. I think this tree didn't exist. I think I made it up. I could be wrong though, but I think the tree and the cloud didn't exist. I just put them there. Also, because I had put a protective sheet below, just in case, but the sheet was just a piece of paper and it didn't go all the way to the bottom. So I didn't color the bottom because I was afraid they would bleed through. Turns out it barely bleed through. And because of the, probably because of the Daniel Smith watercolor ground. So it did its function and it worked. But because of that, I decided not to color the bottom. So I just did a line and didn't go over that one. And lastly, this is Mountain King. Yes, this is Mountain King by R.J. Hampson. This is the hardcover edition. The paper is slightly better than Amazon paper. No, it's actually much better than Amazon paper, but it doesn't mean that this paper is amazing. It only means that Amazon paper is trash. But anyway, I wanted to test this paper, so I used acrylic paint. Also, I used acrylic markers as well on the smaller details. I finished with some touches of color pencil and gel pens. And I think that's all I used. Yes, that's all I used. And I really like the results. I mean, there were no bleed-throughs. There was ghosting. Yes, plenty of ghosting. I'm going to flip it this way because it's really large, this book. There was some ghosting, but there was not really a bleed-through. I mean, I didn't use anything to protect the page on the side. I mean, I put a regular sheet of paper because I usually do, regardless of what medium I'm using, but I didn't put a plastic sheet, an acetate sheet, nothing of the sort. It didn't bleed through minimally, if we were to consider this a bleed through, but it's more like ghosting because there's not ink. Here on the border there is ink, but that's because I was using a brush and I lifted the page and I colored this way, so I ended up coloring these parts accidentally. Okay, that was it. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is one. Oh yes, there's one more, because this is some kind of record for me. Yes, here. This is Symphony of Cute Animals by Kanoko Guza. This is the English edition. I've been wanting to get my hands on the Japanese edition, but I didn't find it. So far, this is what I've got. Okay, this. Let me see. Can I zoom you out a little bit? Yes. This is the second page of the book, and I am taking part of in a collaboration to color this book. It was a collaboration organized by Wendy from Jazzy Doodle Designs, but this book was untouched for me, and I did not want my first page to be the one I will color for the collab. I wanted to familiarize myself with the paper first, and then later I would choose a medium, right? I tested this with different mediums. I tested them with Neocolor 2s, which worked out pretty well. I tested with, these are my white pens. It's a very generic white gel pen, but I really like it. I think it's called Tiger or something. It's a black box with a tiger in the front. And it's a very generic model. It's a triangular one, but it's very opaque. It's also very, very filled with ink. So I'm really happy about that. I used the gel pen on the butterfly, also to make some white hairs on the hair. And on the squirrel, or chipmunk. I think it's a chipmunk. I'm not sure. Also for the swan, I saw a picture of butterflies that are furry, and they have this white furry with kind of like tails that are blue. So I try to reproduce these. It's a real type of butterfly, but I don't understand enough about it to tell you species or anything like that. So I just tried to reproduce this, kind of. Here on the fabric and on the suitcase, I did use watercolors. I used Da Vinci watercolors, but that was a bad idea. I love my watercolors, but this paper doesn't handle that well. Let me see if I can show you. This is a really bad bleed through. And it bled through to the other page as well, not only on this image, but on this side of the image right here. Can you see right here by the window? It's not like a huge one, but I learned real quick this paper doesn't handle watercolor well. And I didn't use like a super wet wash, but it's of course more than just what we would use for Neocolors or watercolor pencils. So clearly there was way too much water for this. I used some Holbein on the flowers, and I don't remember which pencils I used here, but I'm thinking maybe my Lightfast? No, it was my drawing, with my Derwent drawing pencils, and I think these were my Prismacolor on this one. But that's it for my November completed pages, which is pretty much as much as I can do most of the time. I think the largest amount of pages I ever completed in a month were like 7 pages. But that's very rare. Usually it's around 4 or 5. Because there was the whip, then I got to 6. 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5. 5. Why did I thought it was 6? I have no idea. Well, anyway, so to me it's an okay number to my rhythm. I'm a slow colorist, and I keep saying that all the time. Also, I do a lot of other things other than just coloring. I mean, they are all coloring related, but I swatch a lot of my materials, I organize them, I compare them, so I don't always focus on coloring the pages. Sometimes I'm focusing on organizing my books, cataloging my books, flipping through them, and also with the same with my materials. For example, I did this little booklet, and I decided to compare all of the colors from each brand by family order, by color family order. For example, this line is just Polychromos, this is Procolor, this is Derwent Artist, this is Lightfast, Derwent Drawing, this is my Holbein. I don't have many Holbeins, so there were none to put here to compare other than Ivory. This is the Prismacolor, and this is the Mitsubishi Uni, which I didn't do yet. Next, it would be my oranges and salmons. And then reds, which would include dark reds and stuff like that. Also corals and pinks. And then purples and violets. The ones I'm skipping, they're all white, they're all blank. But I'm skipping because I have many pages like purple, violet, because I do plan on using a different media, putting all of my medium by a color family order so I can compare and match colors more easily. Next, blues, cobalts. Cobalts is more like a turquoise kind of color, like cobalt turquoise. That's why I wrote cobalt. It's more cooler. Is that a cooler blue or a warmer blue? I never know, but anyway, it's a blue that leans green, but it's not green yet. Okay. Oh, this one is a misprint. And next, we have teals and greens. And then olives and ochres. And browns. Which I'm still not sure. I might just put them all together. And then grays, blacks, and whites. The reason I'm doing this is so I can do a really big comparison, but also because I've been really curious, especially with the Durban line, for seeing which colors are in more than one set, or which colors are exactly the same but change names on different Durban sets, because I have the Pro Colors, the Artist complete sets, Light Fest is complete, Drawing is complete. They're all complete. The only ones that I don't have complete are the Chroma Flows. I also do not have Durban Studio. I cannot find them in my area, so I will not have them. But also, I wanted to see if I could figure out which set is the most balanced. For example, the Artist has a really large amount of yellows. I mean, this is Prismacolor up top, and they have the same amount of pencils, 120 sets, but there's at least 2 more yellows or yellowish colors. This is called Parchment, and I believe it's either identical or a shade darker than wheat. And it leans towards a beige color, but it didn't feel right putting them with the browns, so I decided to put them with the yellows. But anyway, what I mean is I want to see, like, for example, the Artist and the Polychromos, they both have 120 sets, but one has more yellow than the other. One has more cool yellows than the other, and so on and so forth, so I can compare them better. And also so I can just do a color matching when needed. And I plan on doing that with, these are my professional lines, or at least bougie ones, like this, my Uni, which is not done, but it's a bougie brand. It's not so budget, but it's not professional because you cannot find them up in stock. So what I want to do is to finish these, and I've been taking my time doing those. That's why I haven't also colored anything else. But also December has been hectic and crazy, and that leads us to plans for December. I am taking part on the, I already said that, on Kanoko Iguza's Symphony of Cute Animals collab, and my page is this, well, here. That's my page. It's the horse. And I have to deliver this, to send a picture of this fully colored to Wendy from Jazzy Doodles Design on, I think it's January the 31st, well, by the end of January. And I haven't even started yet, so I better get going on these. This is my project for the month. Also, I am taking part of a buddy group color for Mythographic Dragon Spell. It's the first mythographic I have colored. And I did start on the page. This month's page is The Girl in the Cage. I don't know if that's the name of the page, it's just the way I'm calling it. I took notes of what the colors I would use. And here it is. Like this, yes. I started with the background. I started with Prismacolor, but to be honest, I don't know. I didn't love how they performed on this paper. So it looked like it got really waxy really fast. I didn't even get a chance to layer enough. So what I did was I used my odorless mineral spirit to sort of break down the wax and the binder a little bit so I can go back with new layers, which I haven't done yet. I left these to dry. And then I got sidetracked with other projects. But this is my other plan for the month. I really wanted to also color something Christmassy, which I haven't ever. But this year I have plenty of Christmas books. I didn't have any Christmas books other than maybe some cute and cozy one. So what I decided to do was I wanted to color, oh, here. First I thought I was going to do The Girl in the Sleigh, or this one, The Girl with the Reindeer, or this one. And there was another one. Hold on. What? Where did it go? Here. This one. The little chalet with Santa flying over. And there was one, yeah, The Girl in the Sleigh. This one right here. These were initially my plan. Also, this one was a possibility. But I didn't plan on doing all of them, just one of them, because I wanted to color something Christmassy. And eventually I ended up coloring the holly. I didn't feel, oh god, I think my cat stepped on, oh, again. Anyway, what I started to do was I wanted to test some really cheap pencils. And also my coloring den was completely inhabitable for a while. I'm trying to renovate the den and it's a mess still, but right now I could at least sit on my chair and turn on the light and record something. But before, my desk was full of things to the brim, piled up with stuff, because I was moving everything around and taking things out of the drawers and the cabinets and stuff. So what I did is I got the cheapest pencil set I had laying around, which is one I really usually carry on my purse when I go to an appointment or something and I know I need to wait. I take them out and I color with them. They're kids' color pencil, and all the others were like, usually I keep them in my little trolleys, but they were not on the trolley, so I didn't know where anything was. So I got the one on my purse and I colored these. Clearly I didn't finish yet, but it's a very limited color set. It's, I don't know, 24 colors, I think. Something like that. It's a small set. It's those that have 2 colors in one pencil. Oh, I have to have, yeah. I knew I had it somewhere. Here, this is the kind of pencil I'm talking about. It's bicolor. That was, yeah, bicolor pencils. It's the kids version. It's very cheap. It doesn't feel great to use, but I just needed to color something. And of the cheapest of the cheap, this is an okay one for a kid's pencil. It's definitely softer than Crayola and the Faber-Castell from the red box. So it's pretty okay for a kid's pencil. It is called Mega Soft because it is softer than most kids' pencils. So that's my whip. So I've got, this is the same as Julien's Alla Farben, but it has 20 more illustrations that are in other books. And I think, for example, this is from Stern Fall. This was me testing out the pencils as well. I think there are others. I don't remember by head right now, but this is the French edition of Julien's Alla Farben, which is the Christmas version, all the colors of Christmas, I think. That's what it's called. And this is the French edition of that book, but it's a flexi cover, paperback. And Julien's Alla Farben is, I think it's not only hardcover, but it's single-sided, and this one is not. And not only that, it has, I think there's even things from fairy tale worlds. I think so. So it's a bit of a compilation book. The paper is really thick, like almost cardstock, so it's really thick. But I really wanted the single-sided version so I could use things that might bleed through. So I also got Julien's Alla Farben, but when I started coloring, I didn't have it yet because it arrived this week. So I've been coloring in this one. And I do plan on keep coloring on this one. Okay, these are my 2 plans, my 3 plans for the month. And I hope I get at least this one finished, even though it's the one I didn't start yet. But that's it for my color pages from November and coloring plans for December. I will insert here a tiny video of what I'm doing on my den, or a picture, maybe pictures. Yeah, maybe it's unfeasible to try to record with this mess, so I will probably just take pictures and post the pictures here. I have to do a whole video urgently because there's lots of stuff that arrived. Even things that were supposed to arrive in January, February, March next year. Actually, many of them arrived already, so I definitely need to do a haul for y'all. For example, and this is just a peek, I finally got myself my distress inks, and I bought them in 2 different packs. One big pack of 15 sets and one with 3 other sets. Which are these ones? The 3 sets that actually arrived earlier. They were planned to arrive in January. And they arrived today. That's why they're right here. But only 3 sets is 16, 17, and 18. This is the tiny version. I cannot afford to get the larger one. Also, the one with the 1 through 15 sets didn't arrive yet. Probably will arrive only in January, like this was supposed to, maybe. I'm not sure, but this is one of the things that arrived. So I really need to do a whole video, but that's gonna be for next time. I don't think that I will be posting any other videos other than the haul if I get to record one this Christmas. Maybe a color along. When I color these, I might post that, even if it's just a time lapse. Maybe I'll do that because I still didn't finish with my renovation, and I'm doing a renovation with 0 money, so okay, very limited amount of money. I'm doing it all by myself. I bought a huge, is it a sheet or a board? I'm not sure how it's called, but it's a huge piece of MDF or wood, kinda. I went to the brick and mortar shop. I had to cut it to size, and I decided to build myself a desk. I had never done anything of the sort in my life. I work with tools all the time. I work making insoles, custom insoles for people with any kind of dysfunction, either on their feet or postural or of balance issues, stuff like that. So I am no stranger to tools. I use grinders, I use electric cutters, saws, stuff like that. But I never done anything with wood, remotely. But what I wanted, I couldn't find. I've been scouring the internet, searching for something that would give me what I needed. What I wanted was a desk with a shelving system right in front of me. Like I'm right here, and the shelving would be right in front. There used to be those old desks that you could find that had a small shelving system in front. And at the same time, yes, I could buy a shelf and then sort of glue it to the table. But I wanted to be one single unit just for stability. So I decided I was going to make it myself. And it's a huge undertaking. I've been doing this for the last 2 weeks, non-stop, every day. I mean, luckily my hand is 90% better already because finally my medication was approved. So I am on new medication and it's already showing signs of improvement. And I still gotta organize so much stuff. And not only that, organize my old stuff, new stuff came along. I also had and this one I didn't do it by myself, but a bookshelf made with doors because it can get really dusty, especially because of my line of work, grinding fabric and rubber to make the insoles and stuff like that. And I don't want my books to get all dusty. So I had it done. The doors are not ready yet, but I told the wood guy, you bring me the shelf, you assemble it, and when the doors are ready, because they're glass doors, so it's a different person that's going to make the doors. And I said, when the doors are ready, then you bring them to me, because I need somewhere to put my books, even without the doors for now. So I got this shelf done, and today I was starting the finishing touches on the desk. I mean, I'm at the desk that I built right now. I was doing these finishing touches. It's not completely done yet. It would take a little while, but I would say 99% done. It's nowhere near perfect. They're full of imperfections. I can see them all. But alas, it was my first desk, my first time dealing with wood, and it will serve me well for what I want. And it is exactly what I needed. I needed these shelf units so I could organize everything and have ready access to everything. My alcohol markers are up here. My acrylic markers are down here. On top, just beside my acrylic, my alcohol markers, there are these books that I've been working on. Also my little swivel pen holders like these, which is another video that I need to record. My pen holders, I have tons of these, and I wanted them to be nearby and easily accessible. Also other organizers nearby, like where I put my eraser refills and stuff like that. So I really like the results, despite of being clearly imperfect, full of flaws, especially tiny little details. But well, it's sturdy. It's basically custom made because I measured the space I had and made one accordingly. And it also cleared room in my cabinets to store all the stuff I needed to store in it. It's not nearly finished. Oh Lord. And I want to have it all done before this week's end. Today is Tuesday, so I have like 2 or 3 more days to complete everything. And then I will have after Christmas and before New Year's to actually color something, probably. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you for the company. I'm sorry for not posting anything sooner. I will try to show everything when it's done and take some pictures of the process so I can show you later. But let's see how that goes. Thank you for your company. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, a great December. I hope you are spending time with people you love, and if not yet, you do soon. Thanks for the company as always. Let me know in the comments below what are your plans for this Christmas, either for Christmas Eve, or what are your usual plans? Do you travel? Do you go to see family? Do you stay at home? Where I live, it's summer and is incredibly hot. So I live in the southern hemisphere, so we don't have all this pretty snow during Christmas, unfortunately. So tell me which part of the world you're at, and how is your Christmas? Is it a white Christmas? A sunny Christmas? What is it like to you? Let's chat in the comments, because this is what I love about the coloring community, and it's the reason I made this channel. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, and see you in the next one. Bye!